What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of HRTea After Dark. I hope your week was swell. Happy Halloween! I hope you're getting freaking spooky. Maybe you're watching this as you're getting ready to go trick-or-treating or to a Halloween party or to just watch scary movies by yourself in your home all night. Period. Love that. Forgot to dress up. Sorry. Meant to. If you missed it, I put out a Halloween episode about 2 weeks ago. The link will be in the description below if you want to check that out. But today, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between and outside of that, we will be talking about what it's like to be transgender in high school. Because I don't think I've ever really talked about that. Before we get into it, hit that subscribe button. And also, if you are trans and in high school, or if you were trans in high school, I want to see you guys commenting. Tell me what your experience is like or was like with that, because I would love to know. And I'd love to give you advice if you're in high school and trans and struggling, because God knows you probably are. It sucks. And I'm sure everybody else here would love to support you, because we're a supportive bunch. So, being trans in high school, it sucks. It's horrible. I would not wish it on my worst enemy. Actually, when I'm preparing for episodes, I write my thoughts down in my notes app on my phone because I'm just so professional like that. When I started writing down my thoughts for this episode, I wrote, trans in high school episode. It sucks. It's bad. There isn't much else to say other than it horrible. Kids are mean. Teachers are mean. Most teachers are mean. There are some teachers that actually saved my life, but a lot of teachers are mean. Your clothes, you haven't figured out your style yet. Your clothes feel weird on your body. You might be going through puberty if you're a little bit of a late bloomer. God, imagine being trans in middle school. Maybe that's a whole other episode. But everything is bad. You haven't figured out your hair yet. You haven't figured out binding or tucking yet or anything of that nature. And everything is just uncomfortable all the time. Would not wish it on my worst enemy. I think 40% of my viewers are the age of being in high school. 70% or something are my age, 26-ish. Huh? Hey, that math actually did not add up. I was trans in high school. I didn't have enough time to pay attention in math class. Anywho, I came out when I was 16, 17 years old. I cut my hair when I was a junior in high school. I told a couple friends, but wasn't really ready to come out yet. And by the time my senior year rolled around, the summer going into senior year, I was like, okay, well, I'm a senior now. I have to be a senior as Cody. So I remember right before school started, I emailed all of my teachers. And I was like, hey, what's up? My name is Cody. My pronouns are he, him. I'm trans. Please respect that and call me by those pronouns and name when we're in class. Thank you so much. Kisses. Love you. Bye. And then went to class, and most of my teachers respected that, which was great. I didn't have the worst experience being trans in high school. Does not mean I didn't want to commit a little suey, though, okay? Still had a, you guessed it, horrible time. But most of my teachers were cool about that. There was one teacher who never got that email, went to a spam folder, and he just misgendered me and didn't call me by my name. So that was awkward. That sucked a lot. Then I told my support teacher, hashtag special ed kid, and my support teacher told said teacher about that email. Then he pulled me out of class from another class and was like, hey, so sorry, never saw that email. From here on out, I'll call you Cody and he, him pronouns. I said, slay. Didn't peg you for an ally, but you know what? Love to see it. So that was kind of a slay. And clearly 10 years later, I still remember it. So it meant something to me. The thing is though, and maybe this was just my high school, but they don't change your name or your picture on the roster, on the freaking smart board when they're doing attendance, and they put the attendance on the smart board and everyone can see your name and picture, and I was full woman in that picture, or girl, because I was 17. They don't change that. I think sometimes they just write a note nickname Cody, so a lot of times they would forget when taking attendance, and that really pissed me off. That made me upset. So I remember I went to my guidance counselor and I was like, hey, can you change my name on the roster? And they said no. My guidance counselor said, no, we need a note from your parents to change your name on the roster. I said, that makes no sense. It's my name, not my mom's name. The still pisses me off to this day. I get it. You can't legally change my name without parents' consent if I'm a minor, but you anyway. If I you anyway, I don't know. Then tell your teachers to be nice to me. I don't know. So if that's something you're struggling with in high school right now or something you struggled with, I get it. I get it, okay? And like, people love to be like, oh my god, trans people are so like, they'll just yell at you if you misgender them. I never said a goddamn word. I let everybody misgender me. I was just sad, okay? I never made a stink. They dead name me and I'd be like, here. And if you want to make a stink, make a stink. It's your goddamn character. It's you. You're allowed to make a stink about yourself. You know what I mean? That always pissed me off. My advice would be, if you're like me and you don't like to like cause any trouble or make a scene, email your teachers. If they don't see the email, maybe tell another teacher, have them help you. Speak to your guidance counselor. Not easy. Or if you're a little bit more confident, hey, my name is blank, not blank. My pronouns are he, him. It's really up to you. When it comes to kids, when it comes to your peers, kids can be brutal. High school boys, horrible people. High school girls, the bitchiest I've ever met in my life, okay? I was lucky I had a good group of friends, and when I came out, they made it very easy for me. They were very supporting. I don't speak to like 90% of them now, them all, but but they were really great when I came out, and for that I'm always grateful. I still had trouble saying the words I'm trans to the people I wasn't like super close with, so what I did, and maybe you could do this too if you're struggling, I never knew how to just say it to my peers, so I'd write Cody on my folder and then like hold my folder like this with the word facing out or something when I was talking to somebody, and they would look at my name, my chosen name, and be like, is that what you want me to call you now, or some shit, or they would just read it and say Cody, you know what I mean? It was just a subtle thing that I did. I don't know. I had a lot of trouble saying the words when I was younger, and I used tactics like that to come out instead, and it worked. You don't owe anybody like a long-winded explanation of who you are. Just write it on a piece of paper and they'll probably follow. Because when all of my friends started calling me Cody with he, him pronouns, like in public around other peers, that forced people I wasn't that close to start calling me Cody without having to come out to them, because you would be so surprised how much people don't want to look stupid. If other people see your friends calling you by your pronouns and name, nobody's gonna want to ask. Unless they're a piece of shit. Nobody's gonna ask. They'll just want to follow and go with the flow and follow in everyone's footsteps so they don't look like an idiot. At least that's what happened to me, and I was very thankful for that. And don't get it twisted, there were still some real pieces of garbage when I came out. Like when I cut my hair, there was this girl who, I'm gonna make myself angry. There was this bitch who was like, ew, she looks like a boy. And I was like, hey dumb, that's the whole point. How dumb do you have to be? How stupid do you have to be? And again, there were people who were just straight up transphobic. I remember the only time I made a scene in high school, like one of those memes where like trans people make a scene. The only time I ever did that was when this kid who like I had been friends with when I was really young, and then we grew apart, and I just happened to be talking to him in gym class one day, and I had Justin Bieber hair, and I'm wearing like khakis and a sweatshirt, full male, okay, full clearly male. He looked at me and started talking about trans people, and he was talking about Caitlyn Jenner, out of all people, and was like, yeah, I don't think I'd ever be friends with a transgender. I looked at him in the middle of gym class and I said, well, I'm trans, so that I ran away. Not my finest moment. I'm a little embarrassed about it, but we've all been there. He deserved it. Definitely made a fool of myself. So if that happens to you, I don't blame you. Talk your shit. Maybe don't make a scene. People will look at you sideways, but if you're okay with that, then period. I'm behind you. Speaking of gym class, I have such a gripe with gym class. It's unreal. Why are locker rooms a thing in high school and middle school? That should be illegal. It should be illegal to force young people to get butt booty naked in front of each other. What are we doing? That sounds so up. Even before I even knew I was trans, when I was in the locker room in middle school, I would always go into a stall, because that's when they really force you to change in middle school. I would walk my ass in a stall. I ain't showing nobody nothing. I'm a 13-year-old girl, and these are mean. Who in their right mind thought that's a good idea? And all these little boys are like looking at each other and touching each other in locker rooms. And like, there's no teachers in there to be like, hey, stop. Like, and girls are pointing at each other, laughing at each other about their butt. Like, but hey, locker rooms in middle school and high school, it's hell for trans people. That is our hell. If I'm going to hell, that is where I will be, okay? Very passionate about this. I'm very, very passionate about this. I never once changed in the locker room. I wore sweatpants to high school every single day, just so that I did not have to change in the girls' locker room, because I knew they would force me, because there ain't no damn way they were going to let me in the men's locker room. And I don't want to be in the boys' locker room. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to see any of you naked. I don't want to see it. So you could do that. Just wear sweatpants to school. They won't notice, or I hope they won't notice you haven't changed. Or go to the nurse's office. Keep your gym clothes in your backpack. Go to the nurse's. If you're like one of those kids who really actually wants to play in gym, judging you a little. But if you're like that, go to the nurse's office and use the private bathroom to get changed. Or if they're really giving you a problem, tell somebody. Be honest. Tell them how uncomfortable you are. I'm not telling you to get yourself in trouble, but do not let somebody tell you that you 100% have to go and change in front of other people, because it's not right, and I will stand by that. You send them to me. You send them this link. I'm telling you, don't make this kid change in the locker room, okay? Don't do it. It's up. Don't let anybody tell you that you have to do that. Tell somebody how uncomfortable you are, and I'm sure somebody will listen, okay? They'll accommodate you in some way. I would also like to say that when you're in high school, everything feels so heavy all of the time, even outside of being trans. Like, every time a teacher has yelled at you, or a peer has started an argument with you, or someone made you feel bad, it's real, and you're valid for being upset, probably. But everything just feels like the world is gonna end, and I know that many people have probably told you this, but I swear to God, you're gonna wake up one day, 10 years from now, and be like, that was so dumb. Why did I get so mad? Or, on the opposite end of it, you're gonna be like, I can't believe I let people talk to me like that. Like, I think back to all the time teachers yelled at me for like being on my phone or some stupid like that, and I'm like, how did I let that talk to me? Like, if she told me that today, if I was in school today, and she said that to me, oh, on the floor. I'm just here to remind you, it's not that deep, okay? Being trans is deep. But the rest of it, it's not, I promise, you're not going to care in 10 years. And while I know it all feels very heavy right now with being trans and outside of being trans, I personally believe that life did get easier in most aspects outside of high school. Sucks, okay? It's horrible. And I bet there's some people out there who did also transition in high school, socially or medically, whatever, and had a really, really great experience. But I feel like most of us probably not. Especially with how people feel about trans people, especially in young people right now, and what should be talked about in school and all that shit. It's just noise. You'll be out of there soon, and it doesn't matter, okay? If anybody gives you a freaking problem about being trans in high school, send them to me. Send them this link, bro. I swear to God. I swear to God. I'm not telling you to get yourself in trouble, respect your teachers, whatever, but also teachers. You don't have to respect them if they're not respecting you, okay? The best thing to do is ignore them, because you're there to get an education so that you can be successful in life one day. And when you reach that point, all these other people who were busy making fun of you and not paying attention in social studies or math or science are going to be bum-ass losers, and you won't be, because you'll know who you are and you didn't waste your time on them. But that's not to say that it's not hard. Again, I would not wish being trans in high school or in middle school on my worst enemy. I hear you and I see you and I know how hard it is, but you will get through it. My biggest piece of advice here is to have friends who support who you are, support your transness, and who protect you, because that's important. And if you're really, really in a bad spot where there's just nobody who you feel actually truly supports you, then find them online. Be careful online. I'm saying be careful online. But there are many, many young trans people out there who would love to support you. Just don't take high school too seriously. I will leave you with that. Please, make sure you comment below what your biggest struggles in high school were when it came to being trans, or what they are if you're still in high school. And if you didn't transition in high school, you transitioned way after, let me know if you think that was an easier route or a harder route. I love you all so much. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Join my Discord. It's always in the link in the description below. Check out my Patreon. I post life updates on there, completely free. You have no excuse. Go check it out. And I will see you next week. Happy Halloween. I love you guys so much. Okay, bye!